Hey, what's up, party people? Hopefully, my internet's coming through loud and crystal clear while we talk about the epic lizard punching monkey movie of the year. Although the year's not over yet, we could be surprised. Godzilla versus Kong. I'm here with Danielle. I'm here with Lon. We're going to talk about the trailer, give all of our deep, really complicated thoughts. We're going to really dig into the thematic implications of this film, what each monkey or lizard may represent, and then we're going to show you some deleted scenes. We're going to respond to viewer questions. We're going to tease you with next week's Honest trailer. You guys know the drill by now. So hit me. Danielle? What does Kong represent to you?
Well, for me, Kong represents the futility of man, but also the spirit of man. In that Kong was always willing to fight for what he believed in, and what he believed in was just, I don't know, big monkey stuff that's none of my business. But he was
Fascinating.
always willing to fight.
And when he has his charged up laser axe, is that to you the corrupting influence of technology, or maybe some type of commentary, maybe some sort of Luddite implications? Go on, proceed.
I like to think that him having his own charging axe is a reference to humanity's own rise from the primordial goo, if you will. It's definitely he could have chose to fight without the axe. He does sometimes, but the fact that he uses it, it's just a little bit of nod to our own evolution to be able to use tools.
Fascinating, fascinating. And Lon, the geopolitical implications of this film?
Did you guys see that Fox News actually had a segment where they were like, why are business people always the bad guys? Like, why is the CEO got to be the bad guy in Godzilla versus Kong? And it's like, yes, let's definitely look very deeply into this film and what it has to say about the world of finance and, corporate responsibility.
Yeah.
I think the whole thing, the axe to me is late capitalism.
Oh, of course,
And
of course.
the ape swinging the axe would be globalization.
Or third wave feminism. It just really
Yes,
depends
right.
on
No, the lizard is third wave feminism. And its blast of radioactive energy is woke culture. I think we can all agree.
Okay, we solved it.
Just a little between the lines, people. Hong Kong. Oh, it's happening in Hong Kong. I see.
Pretty obvious symbolism there. Ostensibly this is where we talk about our deeper thoughts on the movie, but I have none. This was an enormous cartoon of a large monkey punching a larger lizard, and the humans trying to get them to do that or not.
I wrote a joke on Twitter where I referred to Kong.
Oh, big surprise! Lon wrote a joke on Twitter
where I referred to Kong as a monkey, and a guy wrote back a little while later like, ape.
Oh, I keep waiting for people to do that to me because I keep writing monkey too. Oh, it's gonna happen.
Well, because that's the truth. Like, I know that technically that kind of animal, if it were real, which it is not, would be more like an ape than a monkey.
It's like the android cyborg robot pedants.
But it's also like 200 feet tall, so let's just call the whole thing off.
Where are the genitals, man? Where are the genitals?
George Lloyd Roberts not happy with us.
That's on Tumblr. Again. That's all on Tumblr.
Yeah, look, I don't know if you guys have any deeper thoughts about this. I think this, to me, was the most fun. I liked it a lot more than the last one, which, dare I say, had too many monster fights. When you have them continuously fighting from start to finish, it kind of lessens the impact. And while the human characters, you could do better, sure, but I think they give you that bridge and that ramp up to when Godzilla and Kong finally fight several times. It has more impact than if it was just ring the bell and they're punching from the first frame to the last.
I think what a lot of these discussions kind of miss is that not all monster fights are created equal. Like, Godzilla King of the Monsters had a lot of scenes where monsters fight, but they were trying to do that thing where it's like from the human perspective. It was a lot of like rain and smoke and debris in the way. So it's more like a head and then a foot. It's all, and like the monsters fight, they almost look like they're fighting in jello or underwater, where it's like all kind of slow and deliberate. Whereas the monster fights in Kong Skull Island and then this movie, they're more like it's more like an action scene.
It was choreographed,
like a fight, and it's fun and exciting just purely on that level, which I feel like King of the Monsters kind of misses.
Yeah, this was wrestling. Like, the only difference is that like Kong and Kong and Godzilla aren't cutting their own promos. They're having the humans cut promos for them. Things like Kong bows to no one. That's a thing if it was wrestling that Kong would have said, you know?
Yeah. I would watch wrestling if at some point they burrowed a tunnel into the middle of the earth to call somebody out, and that other person leapt out of the center of the earth, which is a thing that could totally happen.
I mean, you're at this point introducing enough human characters that you could introduce two who are just like very boisterous, loud people with good broadcast voices, and then they become your wrestling announcers at the end. Like, I don't know why we don't have ringside color commentary like we would if this was WrestleMania. Like, I don't believe it, he's grabbing the roof off that skyscraper, you know, like, where's that? Like, that's what we're missing.
They already have like psychic links sort of with people on the ground. They could totally get them to speak for them. They just, where's Jerry the King? Is he alive? Is Jerry the King Lawler alive?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, good. Yeah. Mind meld with him. Make him yell stuff while people jump off the top ropes. Is he canceled? I'm sure something bad's happened with him. I haven't watched wrestling since 1998.
I mean, any wrestler at this point.
Anywho, let's just watch the honest trailer for Godzilla vs. Kong, because I know we have so much more to say about this movie.
I just wanted somebody to refer to this as a slobber knocker. Is that too much to ask?
Never.
The following trailer is rated S for spoilers. I mean, you can probably tell from the title that Godzilla fights King Kong, but we tell you who wins, if that sort of thing matters to you. In a year where everyone realized we're at the mercy of nature, the world will sublimate that anxiety into watching a giant monkey fight a giant lizard in a perfectly timed release before we snap and punch and or kiss the mailman. I'm scared to see this in a theater. Not because of the virus, I've just completely forgotten how to interact with people.
Yeah, pause.
Godzilla.
I mean, my personal space boundaries have grown to 6 feet or maybe beyond. I just, having people like, if somebody coughs behind me in a movie theater, I might like crane kick them. I don't know. I wonder how it's going to be when I get back in a room full of people.
I feel like there's a pretty equal chance that it'll be like weird for a week or two, and then we're all just like get back used to it, or that we're all like permanently damaged. Like, I have no barometer for what it's going to be like. Like, maybe we're all just like agoraphobic for the next decade, or maybe after 10 days it's like writing the wrong year on your checks. Like, you get used to it again. I'm honestly not sure.
I get weirded out when I see groups of people in movies that were made 10 or 15 years ago. I think it's going to be like,
I think it's going to be a long haul.
I think it's like a bad breakup. Like, it takes like the length of the relationship, you know. So it's going to be a year of being real.
There's all that like, oh man, this summer's going to be like the most epic party summer. It's like that maybe. I'm not saying no, but I also feel like there's a chance that like after 3 days, it's like we're all right back to like, hey, you want to go to like a bar tonight, hang out? I'm like, nah, I don't know.
I'm good.
I gotta work tomorrow.
Like, I feel like I might revert right back to that after like a weekend.
We'll see. All right, keep going.
Weekend.
This movie, a lot of people are seeing this movie. Good for them. Keep going.
Godzilla vs. Kong. You've been moderately pleased by all the legendary kaiju movies so far. Now, tune in for another bad, sober, good with a buzz installment of the sloppiest franchise running, where character and timeline continuity is more of a suggestion, featuring characters they forgot to mention were related, characters they forgot to mention entirely, and characters who forgot they discovered the Earth was hollow.
They did give Serizawa the same last name as Ken Watanabe's character from the other ones, but to not even like give him like a framed photo on his desk. So you're like, oh, that's his kid. Like, you expect us to remember the last name of that guy from 2 movies ago?
Right, but it's also that they're introducing the idea that the son has really broken from the father's whole philosophy. Like, everything Ken Watanabe Serizawa lived for was like, we should trust Godzilla. Godzilla's part of our natural world, and we have to like maneuver around him. And now here is his son like, fuck Godzilla, let's just make a robot version. Like, well, like, you
what
would
happened
think
there?
I'm not saying you can't do that, but like, you would think if you're introducing that idea that the son has completely gone the other way from his dad, there was some kind of background to it. Like, did they have a falling out?
And it dawned on me,
a big conflict with them, like whatever.
On like the 3rd or 4th time through this thing, it's like, Was Bradley Whitford supposed to be Skarsgård's brother?
Oh, wow. Maybe.
I think.
Well, they did that thing in King of the Monsters where Corey Hawkins from Skull Island grows up to be Joe Morton from King of the Monsters.
Right.
And they don't let you know other than just giving them the same name and expecting you to just remember that
Classic
shit years
move.
later.
Yeah.
So maybe, who knows with this franchise? They could be sliding all kinds of stuff by us.
Yeah, they explain the stuff we don't need and then don't do these like very simple little one lines where you can
Yeah.
get in and we would know.
It
what
could
was
be a
going on.
cutaway, an image, just a pan across a family photo or something like that.
How
But
I will say the Charles Dance thing is really weird because the post-credit sequence in King of the Monsters sets up that he's the one that recovers the Ghidorah skull, and then it just shows up at Apex. So we have like, why would this radical eco-terrorist environmentalist have sold it to like the billionaire capitalist cybernetic guy? Like, that doesn't make sense.
I'm just imagining Charles Dance gets like 2 scripts on his desk, and one is like 300 pages long for Mank, and the other one is like 6 pages long in colored pencil for Godzilla versus Kong.
yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna do Mank.
I'm gonna take Mank on this one.
Yeah.
But I was thinking like if they made a deliberate choice to just not bring Middleditch back, like this past few weeks, they must have been like, what brilliant foresight. We did it. We did it, everybody. High fives.
Uh-oh, that's TJ Miller's music.
Yeah, saw that one coming miles out. Well done.
All right, let's keep going.
Forgot they discovered the Earth was hollow in the last movie.
The vortex was a tunnel into the hollow earth. Doesn't matter, I knew I was right.
But one thing remains constant. Absolutely no one watching gives a about any of it. Now make with the monkey fights. Ah, that's the stuff. Meet the humans of the Monsterverse. Because I had to, so now you do too. They're just here to yell out what's going on, even though there's no way any of them could possibly know that information.
This is why Godzilla attacked the Apex facility. They're trying to replace him.
It's the axe. It's drawing radiation from the core like it's charging.
Hey, it could be a psionic interface.
It's just some lit up tubes, man. How would you know that? But don't
Pause.
worry.
There's
scene
so
is
much more of that.
Ridiculous. That scene in particular. There's a lot of that where like some like monster will go "Arr!" and they'll be like, oh, his throat's a little itchy. It's like, where are you getting this from? But that scene, he walks into a room and there's literally just a skull with a bunch of lit up tubes coming out of it. And like it literally does look like a DJ booth, which is the joke that he makes a few minutes later. And he just like intuits like really complex, impossible things that are going on, and he's like dead right first guess. It's
I mean, that whole thing, I don't think it's really necessary to, because they are just, it's 2 children and a podcaster infiltrating like the most top secret layers of the most evil corporation in the world. And they're just, all they do is spill a cup of coffee at the end. Like that's the big payoff.
It's very expensive special whiskey, not coffee.
Oh, excuse me. But they're
Dead wife whiskey.
It's
Yeah,
bourbon.
dead wife
It's,
whiskey.
it's right. It's Chekhov's bourbon that was established in Act 1.
really, they don't have anything to do except move from location to location and call out what's happening.
I feel like from a screenwriting perspective, they're there so that we can explore Apex. Like they didn't just want us to follow Demi and Bashir like and be there with the villain. They wanted some way to bring us into that facility and show us top to bottom. Here's where they're building Mechagodzilla. I don't think it was necessary. I think you've established Demi and Bashir. It would be like following John Hammond at Jurassic Park. Like, why not? Like, you could just show us that without needing the complicated bit of business of the through Earth monorail system or whatever.
Also, something that kind of got lost in the mix of between films was Kyle Chandler being like, Millie Bobby Brown, I will never let you out of my sight again. Like, I will be there always. And she is totally shunted aside. Like, this guy will raise you. It's fine. I'm busy. Godzilla's hurting people. We don't know why.
Also, Rebecca Hall is like, so we should go on this really dangerous adventure, like into the center of the earth. I should probably just bring this little girl along. Like, and there's not even a conversation about like, well, should we bring this little girl along?
Into the center of the earth?
Can we just like Zoom her if we need advice about Kong? Like, it's like seems like, I don't know, some kind of group home maybe while we're just
A
while
sitter.
we're gone.
Yeah, can we get
while
a
we're
sitter?
gone, and then Rebecca Hall will take her back when we get back from the deadly mission to the center of the earth. Doesn't come up. She's fine.
Anywho, all right.
He's
keep
from
going.
a tribe, so it's okay.
They all have a backstory, whether it's their dead wife,
She was my rock, my truth.
dead brother,
What really went wrong on your brother's mission?
dead mom, or screw it, dead everyone,
When the storm took over the island, it wiped out the native people.
as they carry on the Monsterverse tradition of hiring great actors, then making them say stuff like this with a straight face.
Right now, Godzilla's out there and he's hurting people, and we don't know why.
Cringe as the overly dramatic dialogue is way funnier than the intentional comedy of the film, as you follow along with the most obnoxious fictional character profession, the podcaster.
Something bad is going on here. A vast corporate conspiracy.
Brian Tyree Henry rants and raves his way through the sharpest conspiracy theory jokes of 2007.
The Illuminati running shadow economies all to fund a hidden colony for the elite. Water. They put fluoride in it.
And Millie Bobby Brown returns
Yeah,
as his
pause.
kaiju.
It's just, it was just lame, right? Like,
I feel like conspiracy theorists used to be funny, and now they are everywhere and poisoning our country, and it's just not that funny to me anymore.
yeah, I was just
mean,
holding
think
my
that's
breath,
part
like
of
hoping
it.
no one would ask him about the Jews.
Yeah,
Like,
right. You just feel like any minute it's gonna be like, and have you guys heard about Comet Pizza? And I'm gonna be like, okay.
I did.
Yeah,
He's such a good actor that, like, I wrote it in my notes, but my first thing was like, did he sign on for this before they nominated him for all of those awards? But it does. I mean, he looks like he's having fun, so that's good. But yeah, the conspiracy theory is not as funny now in the bright
I mean,
light of day.
at least though, like, he's bringing some energy. Like, I appreciated that. Like, he's kind of like the Bradley Whitford of this movie, where it's like, at least they gave him a character, and he gets some attempts at introducing some liveliness to it. Like, when there's monsters on screen, this movie is like big and exciting and awesome and fun. And then the moment that the monsters aren't there, it's not that it's just humans and we're innately boring. It's like, these are boring humans. Like, and Kong Skull Island, they're not boring humans. Like, I don't know why they keep giving us so many of these scenes in like a military installation where we're looking at radar maps and it's a bunch of very serious, sober-faced people. Like, I'm sure that is what it would be like if a monster attacks, but who cares? It wouldn't happen no matter what. So just make it fun.
Yeah, and like, I understand the impulse to be like, give him some kids, give him some wacky children to take care of. But at the same time, like, this isn't a kids franchise, really. Like,
Just
this
give
isn't
them
like
a reason to be there. Like, why is Julian Dennison there? Like, does he even? The first time through, I inserted myself that he has a crush on Millie Bobby Brown, so he's going along because he just like wants to get closer to her. And then the second time I watched it, I realized I just added that. That's not even in there. I just like, I'm doing their work for them. Like, you got to at least establish that he just shows up with a van and he's like,
and
"All right,
sticks
I
with
guess
him
we're-"
the whole time.
He's like, I got an
And he
accent.
doesn't
Let's
wanna be
go. Like, his
What'd you say,
character is
Danielle?
literally, I have an accent.
No, like and he makes the point several times in the movie that he like doesn't want to be there, so we never.
So
get
go.
to
Take off, dude.
Yeah,
he's not
he's
an
out.
expert in
He's-
anything. He's not related to anybody. He has no stake in this.
There's no interest in Millie Bobby Brown.
Right. And then, like,
He's just
at
a
least
child.
that. At least give me like, oh, he's always wanted to talk to this girl, but he's never had an excuse. And now monsters. Here's his excuse. Like, even that would be something.
Yeah. Oh well, next time. Keep going.
Brown returns as his kaiju Anon in training.
Theory is it makes you docile, easy to manipulate.
Plus, this boy is also there in this goofy subplot that could be completely cut without anyone noticing. You only need one group of humans to follow in these movies, okay? Everyone else is there to either be squished and or cheer when Godzilla destroys their home. With a title like Godzilla vs. Kong, they better deliver on the fights as they pit the titular titans against each other no less than 3 times. I mean, sure, Godzilla wins 2 out of 3 because, I mean, come on, look at the guy. And yes,
Yeah,
Kong
pause.
spends more time on his back.
I'm glad they gave a definitive answer, and they gave the correct one. You know, we all want the monkey to win because we're all monkeys here. You know, it's Team Primate. But look at Godzilla. He's a dinosaur. You can't fight a dinosaur, even with an axe.
I thought they did a very good job, though, in this of reinforcing, like, people were like, oh, Godzilla would just be like totally dominant. Like, I agree that Godzilla is going to win this fight, but they did stress that there are areas where Kong does have like a leg up, especially in terms of like strategizing. Like Godzilla's just going to like come at you with his sharpest or most radioactive parts every time. Whereas Kong is like, oh, I'm going to like pivot off of this building to come at you. Like, like he's faking out and stuff. Like he's using his primate logic. And I liked that like it was actually thinking about the fights on the level of like, well, what would be each of these creatures' strengths and weaknesses?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that it ended with both of them having respect for each other.
You gotta.
Because Godzilla does the nod. Did y'all caught that?
Yeah,
right?
he did do the
like,
nod.
He did the like. Yeah. I just expect a Corona to pop into his hand, like, all right, you're family now,
Yeah, they should have had one of those scenes where they like talk next to each other but looking away from each other, like where like the Rock's looking that way and Vin Diesel's looking that way, but like still respect,
And then somehow they're both in like modified Toyota Supras and they just peel off in different directions on the highway. It's been a long day.
Get a little Wiz Khalifa on the soundtrack there.
All right, keep going.
And yes, Kong spends more time on his back than Riley Reid. But the film will do everything in its power to make you root for the big hairy boy. He's friends with children, he loves snacks, and he's got Thor's axe. I mean, come on, the only endearing thing Godzilla does is destroy part of Florida.
Sorry
but
to the person from Pensacola in the comments.
Without them joining forces at the end against a surprise third fighter.
What the hell is that?
What the hell is that?
What in God's name is that?
Mechagodzilla.
That's Mechagodzilla.
A giant Jaeger created to fight Godzilla.
Now pause. Danielle, you were Team Mechagodzilla.
I changed after my boy went down. Still love him. Props, respect. I immediately, it's like the literal shiny new toy. Like as soon as I saw Mechagodzilla, I was like, oh, now you're my favorite little metal boy. What are you gonna do?
I liked him. I don't know, his design. I guess I'm used to the old one, which is like equally lumbering and like full of missiles and stuff like that. This one, I mean, he was cool. He looked pretty dangerous. He had like a sharp, tail laser.
I liked him because he's dumb. Yeah.
He's very dumb.
I mean, I think clearly one of the best moments of this entire film is when he comes to life on his own and you get the like Deep Blue Sea moment of the bad guy giving his villain monologue, like, and you're watching Mechagodzilla in the background.
Yeah.
Very cool, fun moment. Like that's what I want from this franchise. Like, give me big, dumb, silly, over the top, fun beats.
Now so his point for going into the center of the Earth was to find the power source to then power Mechagodzilla.
Yes.
Okay.
The energy signature that they are able to retrieve from that lit up thing in Kong's home.
Yeah.
She beams, Isaac Gonzalez goes down there and measures the energy signature, beams it up to the surface where they're able to recreate that energy signature, a thing. And and that's the secret to powering Mechagodzilla.
Now that means that they had completely built Mechagodzilla. They just had no way to turn it on without also going to the center of the Earth.
As you'll recall, they're able to turn it on and it can reach 40% powered up.
Okay.
And enough to kill one Skull Crusher, which, by the way, how did they know that that's just the name John C. Reilly gave those characters for fun in Skull Island.
And he was like Looney Tunes,
I guess Monarch put that in a file somewhere that then went on to become like everybody knows this file, and that's how now this teenage girl knows that that's what those creatures are called. Yeah. Interesting that came back around.
I mean, this all must have taken years, if not decades, to put in place. So maybe Charles Dance just got fired for financial mismanagement. It was like, come on, we gotta get this thing going. Let's go to the center of the Earth already.
Can you be fired from your eco-terrorism job? Is there like the other eco-terrorists are like, look, it's not working out.
Well, all the seats on the board
here.
The board seats are like the guy from the bad guy from Venom. All the evil CEOs that Fox News wants to take the side of. They're all on the board. They're like, you're really behind, Charles.
I love that one of their other examples on that Fox News segment was RoboCop. It's like those are.
Oh my God,
evil. Those are very evil executives from 1987. The other one was Lord Business, Will Ferrell from Lego Movie. Very upset about Lord Business.
I think that's just an evolution, because don't they write like every year? One of them writes like the "Actually Scrooge is good" columns. Like we shouldn't teach children
it's
to
always
give.
Mr. Potter from It's a Wonderful Life and Scrooge were actually the heroes of those stories. Yes.
Oh man. Conservatives are getting funny and liberals are worried.
So scared.
Gutfeld's gonna have our jobs, you guys.
Keep going.
He loses human control and fights Godzilla, causing the two beasts to team up against this man-made atrocity, and all three of them to team up against the city of Hong Kong.
Everyone in Hong Kong. Yeah. I like that there's a moment where they're like, evacuate Hong Kong, which I guess is there to make us feel better about this.
No wonder this movie is huge in China.
Every time you cut to the building, there's people.
So see it on the biggest screen you can.
They didn't really evacuate.
Which for most of us right now is our phone. Even though it's probably best suited for one of those theme park rides with moving seats.
Awesome. Do you guys remember the Universal Studio Lot tour when it had King Kong in it? And sure. He had like banana breath?
I do.
That was cool. Anyways, it's my Chris Farley show segment.
One of those lizards, the dinosaurs that came out, one of them spit right into my black girl hair. So
wait, was that Jurassic Park? The Jurassic Park ride? Yeah, the spitter.
Yes. I believe that was like Spielberg saw that King Kong ride and was like, "Oh, we can do Jurassic Park. We can just use this is going to work." He thought he could do all of Jurassic Park with animatronics because that effect was so cool.
Oh wow!
And then it was only later that he was like, let's use computers.
I thought you were saying we could do Jurassic Park the ride, which is also at Universal Studios.
The movie.
Yeah. It's like, wow, we could have our own theme park ride.
Wait a minute.
That's always broken.
And that was how Steven Spielberg invented the log ride.
Directed by Steven Spielberg.
The first log flume was created in 1995 by Steven Spielberg.
Genius. Very well paced. All right, keep going.
Flume, the movie.
That may not be the most intelligent thing you could be watching, but you know what? Neither are we. And we spoke this movie into existence back in 2014. From the company who has the rights to Godzilla, King Kong, and Pacific Rim. So please do a crossover where they all fight each other and stuff. You're welcome.
Pause.
Starring.
I think when we need a week off, we should just do a supercut of like times we've predicted things or like spoken them into existence, or everything we've gotten completely wrong. I don't know. There's enough for 2 montages. All right, keep going.
I get knocked down, but I get up again.
I get up again.
Reptile wins. Just make out already. You're perfect for each other. On today's show, we're going to reveal the horrible truth. But first, I'd like to tell you about Squarespace. Billionaires shouldn't exist. Mecha like a high, mecha hidey ho. The Chris Hemsworth of the Brothers Skarsgård. Let them fight. Pre-Teen Titans. And physics?
Sure.
Yeah.
Alike Titans Punch-Out. Okay, not trying to kink shame, but why are all these monsters always trying to spit in each other's mouths? That's not a thing real animals do. They learn this from watching people.
That's gross.
Yeah, they keep doing that move, man.
They got a real fixate, because you could, I mean, if you had like laser radiation breath, you don't need the other guy to open his mouth. You could just
if they're like if they have a tough hide, you need to like go. It's like the boys
trying
when they
to
had to
purposefully like, let me get this down your throat. Like, is that necessary?
Yeah, it's either the front end or the back end, Lon. Either way, you gotta find a vulnerable spot on these Titans.
It's like, hey, this is the Ant-Man Thanos argument again. Yes. I see.
All over again.
Yeah.
Well, that was fun. That's a fun film. I think I had as much fun watching something at home as I have all year of watching that. I think that was a total throwback blockbuster popcorn movie. I wish I saw it at a drive-in or something like that. But we have this.
I really enjoyed. I part of me just is like, at this point, we can do like Rise of the Planet of the Apes or whatever. Like that, maybe King Kong should have just been the main character of this movie. Like I'm almost getting to the point where I'm like, the motion capture's so good, the performances from the kaiju were so good. Like we're maybe evolving past needing people in these movies.
I agree. Yeah, just do sign language. Maybe have that little girl
the
translate
little girl, and
time
she
to
can
time.
talk to Kong. He's like, no, Godzilla's our friend now, and he's like, are you sure, little girl? All right.
I'd watch that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just had to find the script to pull up. Some things I wanted to shout out. In addition to, please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Hit the like, hit the bell. You'll never miss another thing. And also, Joe Starr, our own Joe Starr. He's all grossed up, and he is sitting down with Fenway Jones from Jasper's Game Day to discuss Dungeons & Dragons, mental health, awareness, and suicide prevention. There should be a link in the description to check that awesome conversation out. And then we did miss a Falcon Winter Soldier episode 3 review, but we will be back this Friday, or at least Eric and Roth will be back at their normal time to catch you up on all that.
I can tell you what I thought. I liked it.
Oh, Lon says it's good, so you can skip the review. It's fine. We have some outtakes and deleted scenes. Let's roll them now, see what got cut.
Plus, this boy is also there, because when the other two characters think exactly the same, give them a small boy to ridicule.
I drink tap water.
Yeah, I kind of figured that.
Then making them say stuff like this with a straight face.
Right now, Godzilla's out there and he's hurting people, and we don't know why.
No offense to the other nominees, but give Kyle Chandler all the Oscars for saying that without laughing. Starring Optimus Primal. And my axe! Return to Monkey. King Kong ain't got nothing on me. Apex Jones. Apex Redditor. I own an island off the coast of Pensacola. Jägermeister. AFK. Kid Watanabe. Robot Jocks. Scar's Guardian of the Galaxy. Hits from the Kong.
That looks good.
Bad Monkey versus Superior Lizard.
Oh, there you go. Simple as that.
I tried for a little while to come up with a X versus Sever joke. Like, could I rhyme like ballistic apes versus, and I tried it for like too long before I was like, nobody even remembers ballistic X versus Sever.
Oh, we got some good questions, you guys, from the live chat. I want to start with this one from Chris Sears. If you had to stop a kaiju from rampaging through a city, what strategy would you use? Using a mecha is great for movies, but a giant tiger trap may be more efficient. Thoughts?
Well, no, because I'm thinking about the giant tiger trap, because I had to. I've seen like animals get trapped and they immediately start pooping. As like a fear mechanism. So all I can think of is like, you have this thing that can't be moved and you trap it and it just starts like going on whatever town you're in. And that could be obviously as destructive and disgusting.
I feel like they always go right to like military, like immediately. And it's like, we know that missiles don't work. So like, there's no point. But we never use any of the tactics we'd use again for just like an animal. Like, I don't like smear some peanut butter on the coastline. Like try to just get them like you don't need to kill them, just get them out of the city, you know? Like
I'm just imagining helicopters just dumping peanut butter, like dumping sand on a fire.
Tanker flights like that put out fires, just dumping peanut butter out the back.
What if we just invest in like a huge squirt bottle and we just like if they get too close to like a city, just squeeze it at their face. Like maybe they'll turn around. It works for cats, they're very hostile.
I mean, I'm living in the sticks, or I'm living underground. For me personally, that's my personal kaiju strategy.
Oh, you're saying if in case of any kaiju anywhere, you're gonna just head inland.
Yeah, you need like Neon Genesis rules where all the skyscrapers just kind of lower down into the floor to make room for monsters to fight each other, as you do. I think that's pretty standard in Japan actually already.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a tornado shelter, which is like your standard kaiju shelter. Just, like wait it out.
Okay. I'm skipping all the genuine questions, but I am genuinely more interested in these ones.
Genuine questions.
By D.A. Baracus writes, if you have the tech to build Mechagodzilla, is a bipedal lizard the best shape to build a giant robot? Would human shape be better? What shape would you build it?
Well, no, because now I'm thinking about the giant tiger trap, because I had to. I'm definitely going large human, right? Like if I've got, because you can do all the things where, we can make lasers come out of the eyes or toxic spit in your own mouth. So I think, but it's also, are we biased because we're humans? So we just assume that people are a better shape when maybe it is something like a small tiger.
Well, I think the question is not maximum efficiency, because I think it's clear that if you just wanted to build like a huge machine that would kill Godzilla, I don't think it needs to be Godzilla shape. It's that the point is to humiliate him. Like, we've got to prove that it's true. Like,
why are we negating Godzilla?
No, that's Damien Bashir's
We need to become the Alpha Titan.
Right. We have to prove we're the Alpha. We have to like beat him at his own game and like throw it in his face. So yeah, we're bullying him. Like, with that's the point.
It seems unfair because he doesn't know he's playing the game. So it seems really unfair.
Well, look, I watched a lot of BattleBots, and it turns out that the most efficient shape is not the most visually impressive. It's usually a wedge with like a little flipping rod. So I think if we can just get something under his feet and then like continuously to just keep tipping him back, that is humiliating.
It's even what Kong uses, which is he has the downside of all of your classic dinosaurs. He's got a little dinosaur arms problem, Godzilla. So you gotta, anything that can use reach, like upsetting his balance and then getting in from outside. That's how you.
Yeah, I think Godzilla on his back it'd be really humiliating for him to watch him roll over and just kind of use his tail to kind of squinch himself back up.
He's got T-Rex.
Yeah, he would slink off into the ocean for sure after that.
I don't understand why these fighter pilots are always like, you don't need to fly right in here and shoot them in the face. Like, hey, you got these missiles can go a long way. Just aim. Just like they're always like coming in where a tail can just pick them off. Like, just fly around the outside.
Come on.
You don't have to engage that directly, right?
Okay, another big one. Linz is asking, what animal would you want to see turn giant and join the fight? So this doesn't have to be a previous MonsterVerse character. Just pick an animal, supersize it, and throw it in the mix.
I'm always me, so I'm gonna say corgi. I just am. I'm gonna say that I want a giant corgi. Just being cute with its stumpy little legs. Oh, come on.
Yeah.
There's not a probably because it's this was a Japanese sort of genre, and like they're using the animals that are their everyday local animals. So we've never gotten like a bear kaiju that I can picture, which is very like North American animal. But I think that would be cool. Like, just get like a huge bear, like a moose or something that's more like our part of the world.
I think it'd be funny / terrifying to see a giant goat. Like, because they can like really jump high. They can jump like 4 times their height, like a mountain.
Yeah, they got those weird eyes.
Those weird looking fox eyes or whatever.
They eat everything.
They eat everything. Yeah, just chewing up buildings and spitting out shrapnel, and then like maybe doing like a little donkey kick action, and then just like when a goat goes.
Voiced by Adam Sandler.
I'm a goat.
Yes, the old man. Yeah.
Okay, and then finally, we'll leave you on this. What are your thoughts on Godzilla 99? I remember watching it as an 8-year-old. I've seen it a couple times since then. And my last memory is that it kind of holds up. I'm sorry, but I have to disagree with you wholeheartedly there. Wow, is that a bad film? Yeah, between all the fish dumps and Matthew Broderick and Jean Reno and Godzilla looking like a weird little iguana, I don't think that movie holds up at all. Not even, dare I say, the Jimmy Page P. Diddy theme song. I think we're done. I'm done. I'm out. I never need to go back.
There were some good songs. It did have a pretty good. The Godzilla soundtrack was not a total loss, but that's the highlight of the whole film for me. It also had. Do you remember that? It's got like the mayor of the town, and then his assistant are like supposed to be like Siskel and Ebert. Like they look exactly like.
They have shots at like film critics throughout the thing.
Yeah, and they're always like bickering and like giving stuff a thumbs down. It's just like such a weird Like, are you really that? You're taking it that personally that Siskel and Ebert didn't like your movies, Roland Emmerich? Calm down. I mean, to me, the biggest knock on it is just Godzilla doesn't like look like Godzilla, and so it never feels like a Godzilla movie at all. It just feels like a big iguana attacking a city movie.
Yeah. All right. Well, those are all the most serious questions, and I think we gave this film the serious treatment that it deserved. I'm glad we did it. I'm glad we were able to do this so fast. I mean, now that things are on streaming, like boom, boom, boom. Like, why
Yeah.
wait? It's weird to do an honest trailer for a movie that's like still in theaters, but the game's changed. The game has changed.
I'm not
so.
saying we're definitely also going to do this for Mortal Kombat, but
I'm thinking we do.
Can't wait.
But
to
not next
also
week.
do this for Mortal Kombat.
It's not out yet. So next week is something that is one of my favorites of the year, and I think we'll give you a whole bevy of options to laugh at. I think you're going to enjoy it. I always do. And I always enjoy you, Lon and Danielle. Thank you for joining me, and thank you, audience. We will see you tomorrow on SJU. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.